In Atlanta, a thorny question: should the next mayor be black? Atlanta, how important is it that the next mayor be black? That is the knotty question in Atlanta, the celebrated base of African American cultural, economic, and political power that has only had black mayors since the Ford administration, and also gave the world a man who spoke of judging people on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. The question, particularly in black circles, has been animating cocktail parties, college homecomings, and water cooler chat, a reaction to a trio of ambitious white candidates who are among the 8 major contenders in a wide-open race to replace Mayor Kasim Reed. The election Tuesday will almost certainly see the top 2 candidates head to a runoff, and it comes as many African Americans around the country are recalibrating their ideas about race and politics in the midst of the Trump presidency. It's a very hot topic. Right now people are feeling responsible for making sure a black mayor is elected again, said Kelly Jackson, the former daughter-in-law of Maynard Jackson, Atlanta's first black mayor, who noted, pointedly, that she does not subscribe to this way of thinking. They want that, because that's what we know. Mr. Reed, who is barred by term limits from seeking a third 4-year term, has overseen a period of urban renaissance that has also seen Atlanta become wealthier and wider. Since 2010, the percentage of blacks has diminished from 54% of the city population to about 51%. This year, polls show the front-runner to be a white woman, Mary Norwood, an indefatigable former Junior League vice president from the Thorny neighborhood of Buckhead. Central to Ms. Norwood's appeal is her promise to fight for all neighborhoods, a message that nearly earned her the mayoralty in 2009, when she lost to Mr. Reed in a runoff by about 700 votes. Ms. Norwood, an at-large councilwoman, is convinced that black voters will see beyond race. "We have been so forward-thinking, so progressive and so inclusive, and that's the way our people work in this town," she said. "I have wonderful support all across the city." The 2 other white candidates, Peter Amman and Kathy Woolard, are also making the case to black voters that they can represent the city as well as or better than the major black candidates, a high-powered group that includes the city council president, 2 council members, a former state senator and the former head of the Fulton County Commission. The idea that a victorious white candidate would break a streak of African Americans dating to 1974 does not sit well with everyone. On Atlanta's historically black South Side, anonymous signs have appeared declaring, "Vote the black slate." The election is not the only high-profile municipal drama in which voters will be asked to navigate a complex thicket of race and power. In Detroit, a mayoral runoff pits Coleman A. Young, the son of the city's legendary first black mayor, against the incumbent, Mike Duggan, Detroit's first white mayor in 40 years. The Atlanta race also comes after 3 other majority black southern cities, Savannah, Memphis and New Orleans, have, in the 7 years preceding President Trump's victory, broken long streaks of black political power by electing white mayors. In New Orleans, Mayor Mitch Landrieu, who is also leaving office because of term limits, may go down as something of an aberration, a white politician with a civil rights pedigree that sets many black cities. His father, former Mayor Moon Landrieu, integrated City Hall in the 1970s. Indeed, the next New Orleans mayor is guaranteed to be African American, with 2 black candidates heading to a November 18 runoff, LaToya Cantrell, a city councilwoman, and Desiree M. Charbonnet, a former municipal court judge. Some experts wonder whether just as Barack Obama's presidency made it easier for blacks to support white candidates, Mr. Trump's election could have the opposite effect. Jamal Simmons, a Washington, D.C. political consultant with experience in Atlanta and Georgia politics, said he used to hear black voters in focus groups say, "Well, if America can elect a black man, then why can't we elect a white candidate if he is the best person?" Today, however, Mr. Simmons said he wonders if race consciousness in politics has gotten more acute for black voters in a time of controversial police shootings of African Americans and the election of Mr. Trump. "It feels like we're returning to some retrenchment era," he said, "like the one that occurred after Reconstruction." The tension was evident at the S&S cafeteria on Atlanta's South Side, where Anthony Day wrestled with the question of whether the next mayor needed to be black. Mr. Day, 53, initially declared that a candidate's race did not matter. But as the conversation unspooled, Mr. Day, a black Atlanta native and the